Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today I have yet another trim level of the all-new 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe I want to show you guys, and this is the limited trim level. Now this actually might be my favorite out of the entire Santa Fe lineup due to the features and options that you're getting. You do have a lot of the main luxury items found on this particular trim level and comes in substantially less than that of the top calligraphy model. So if you need either the bench seating option in the second row or maybe not all of the features and amenities that the calligraphy has to offer, the limited might be the way to go. If you guys have been following the channel, then you'll know I do have a side-by-side comparison of the SEL, XRT, and this limited seen behind me. So make sure you guys check that video out after this one. Now, of course, as you probably know by now, the Santa Fe is all new for the 2024 model year. It comes standard with third row seating, 6 or 7 passenger configurations, a bunch of updated technology, and of course, the new boxy design language. Now, finally, when it comes to pricing, it did go up across the board, no matter which trim level that you're looking at. Some a little bit more than others, but generally it was about the $4,000 mark where it did increase versus a comparable 2023. But do keep in mind, you're getting significantly more vehicle with the standard powertrain, the third row seating, the overall larger size, etc. So when it comes to the limited behind me, it's now going to start at $46,545, including destination and all-wheel drive. And this one seen behind me just tops the $47,000 mark, including a few additional accessories. So with all the information in mind, let's not waste our time and take a look at this vehicle behind me. So the Santa Fe in front of me is finished in the Shimmering Silver exterior with the black leather interior. This is the first or entry-level model to get the genuine leather seating surfaces. So if that's something that you're looking for, you do have to opt for either a limited or of course the calligraphy will get the slightly nicer Napa leather interior. Now, starting at the front end of the limited trim in specific, you will find the same overall design language no matter which Santa Fe that you're looking at, with the much more boxy, upright nature and full LED headlamps. So you have your LED projector headlights, daytime running lights, and turn signals all in this housing right there. It will be a slightly darker or smoked tinted lens versus the SE or SEL, for example. Along with that, you do get the darkened chrome trim along the center section, which does also feature the light bar, which will connect the two headlamps together when the headlights are on or the parking lights are enabled. Down below, you'll find front, rear, and side parking sensors for the limited, so it does gain that over some of the lesser trim levels, which just come standard with the front and rear parking sensors. You will get a few more gloss black accents here at the front end, including this aero vent design, some of the grille slats in the center section, and you do get the satin chrome trim that wraps around the front corners of the bumper, around the rest of the vehicle, which we will see when we get to the side and the rear. But overall, just a few slight material differences. And one last thing is you do get the 360 surround view camera system in between both of the active grille shutters. You will also get the satin chrome Hyundai emblem across the board. That's either going to be finished in silver or a black, depending on the trim level that you do get. Coming around the side of the vehicle, you will find the limited retains the standard matte black plastic textured trim around the wheel arches and the lower portions of the vehicle. If you do want that in the gloss black, that is going to be found on the top calligraphy model. Otherwise, most of the vehicles will be seen like this one. However, the limited in specific does add this trim at the bottom corners, which is found on the lower portions of the door, and then does continue on around the rear of the vehicle just to give it a slightly more luxurious and premium look. Now, coming to the wheels and tires, this is going to be a limited specific wheel and tire setup, 20-inch in diameter, with a machine face and a gunmetal metallic insert. It is going to be wrapped in a 255/45 20-inch Pirelli Scorpion MS all-season tire, so a fairly high performance all season. You still get the Santa Fe gloss black accents here on the front fenders, as well as the A, B, and C pillar finished in the gloss black, just to help differentiate the roof line and the lower door sections. There's your door mounted mirrors. They are going to be body color LED turn signal integration, as well as the cameras on the bottom for the 360 camera system, as well as the blind spot view monitor. They are going to be heated, and it does have blind spot detection as standard. Of course, you will find Hyundai Digital Key 2.0, which supports Android and iOS compatible devices. And taking a look here from the side profile, you can really see that boxy nature specifically towards the rear of the vehicle, all of that silver accent trim at the bottom that I have been mentioning, as well as your gloss black roof rails up top. And speaking of the roof, you will find the dual sunroofs here on the limited, so you get the front power sunroof that does open and retract, as well as the fixed pane glass for the second and third row occupants. You do not get the C-pillar grab handles on this particular vehicle. That's only on the XRT and the calligraphy. Now coming out back, this one does have a unique aspect in that it is equipped with the optional accessory tow hitch package, which is very interesting to see for the first time. Outside of that, you do get full LED lighting outside of the reverse light. So this is going to be your primary LED brake and running light in the H logo up there. Your secondary set of lights is going to be in that horizontal strip right there for when the tailgate or hatch is open. And then finally, your reverse lights are found at the very bottom of the rear bumper. As you can see, some of those parking sensors wrap around the entire side and perimeter of the vehicle, kind of matching that satin chrome trim. Santa Fe is nice and large on the rear large tailgate. The Limited gains the gloss black trim around the handle portion with your integrated camera system for the backup camera. And then there is going to be the optional trailering accessory hitch that this one is equipped with from port or from factory with your 7-pin trailering hookup on the right side. So very cool to see that they are producing vehicles with that. And then finally you have your H-Track badge and single tipped exhaust here on the passenger side. So that's a look at the exterior of the Limited. Let me know what you guys think. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the window sticker so you guys know exactly how this one is equipped, and then we'll jump onto the inside. So taking a look at the window sticker, the Limited comes pretty much as equipped with only those additional accessories or extra cost paint color as available options. Now the Limited is really where you get to start to see some of the more luxurious amenities, including heated and ventilated front seats, heated second row seats, the UVC sanitation compartment, you have the power passenger seat, genuine leather seating surfaces, etc. Now, like I mentioned, this one does have a few additional accessories on it, including that tow hitch for $450, which brings the total MSRP, including destination, to $47,465. So taking a look on the interior, like I mentioned, this one's equipped with the black leather interior, but black, gray, and brown is going to be available depending on the exterior color that you do choose. Starting out here on the door panel, you can see it is going to be the same design as the other Santa Fe's I've showcased here on the channel, with slight material differences. So you still retain the soft touch upper with, it looks like, more genuine accent stitching. You have a slightly different wood grain, dark gray pattern here, as well as a high metallic silver accent trim that wraps across the top portion into the dashboard. Still have a nice soft touch padded armrest, feels like a slightly nicer material. Power windows, mirrors, and locks with automatic front two windows, and you do get power folding mirrors on the Limited trim, which is very nice. Two-person memory seats found up here, and you will have the Bose premium audio system in this one with a good amount of lower door storage. Coming over here to the driver's seat, this is going to be a power driver's seat with 4-way power lumbar, so an upgrade from the 2-way lumbar in the other vehicles. And there's going to be a look at the genuine seating surfaces with the perforations and, of course, the slightly different texture. Now here on the inside of the Santa Fe Limited, as you can see, the design of the dashboard and technology is going to be very similar to the other vehicles that I've showcased. However, there is going to be a big upgrade in the features and options. So in front of the driver, you're going to find the fully digital configurable gauge cluster that is controlled here on the left side of the steering wheel. Now this is actually the entry level or the cheapest Santa Fe to feature this fully digital cluster. So you do have some customization that you can do as far as the dials and everything like that, but this is an upgrade versus the SEL or XRT, for example, with the smaller 4.2-inch display in the center. So cycling through some of the pages here, you can see in the center you do have your trip information with MPG timer. There's your navigation where you can pull up some of the turn-by-turn directions for the built-in navigation system. And then pressing it one more time, you do have your safety systems, and then back to your trip information. Now you can see if you scroll through some of the pages, you do have tire pressure as well as your all-wheel drive. And I do have a dedicated video here on the channel going over a very similar system in another vehicle. So if you want to see that in a little bit more detail, make sure to check that out. Coming back to the steering wheel, this is going to be a black leather wrap steering wheel that is going to be heated here on the Limited. On the left side, you have your adaptive cruise control lane fall assist. This vehicle is equipped with Highway Drive Assist 1. And on the right side, you do have your audio multimedia controls. On the back side, the paddle shifters for the 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. And there is your forward attention assist sensor that essentially monitors your eyes or face. Make sure you're paying attention when using some of the driver assistance technologies. Automatic headlights and auto high beam assist as standard. The Limited does add the rain sensing wipers, which is a very handy feature. And of course, you do have your shift-by-wire column-mounted gear selection, which Hyundai has been slowly rolling out to other vehicles, including the Santa Fe, the Kona, the Sonata, and of course here on this new next generation Santa Fe. To the left of the steering wheel, we have your electronic parking brake, gauge dimming, power trunk, as well as your traction control off buttons. And as you can see here in the shadows, some of the ambient lighting, which can be configurable on the infotainment system and change colors in that kind of H pattern. So there's definitely a lot of H's here on the interior of the Santa Fe. Now, one thing I did forget to mention here on the left side of the gauge cluster is this new fingerprint recognition. So you can sign into some of your Hyundai driver profiles using this fingerprint sensor. And this is actually the first Hyundai vehicle here in the United States to debut this technology. It has been on some Genesis products and has been overseas for several years now, but nice to see that Hyundai is finally rolling out that feature. You can see you do have some nice materials across the dashboard with some accent stitching, as well as the silver tweeter for that Bose premium audio system. Coming over here to the center infotainment display, this is the 12.3-inch infotainment with built-in navigation. It does feature wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth inputs as well. Of course, does come standard with BlueLink Plus, which is free for the lifetime of the first owner, and expanded benefits for certified pre-owned vehicles. Now, very easy to use infotainment system. I do have a dedicated video here on the channel going over this in depth with most of the same features and options. Now, this one does have the 360 surround view camera system, which we will take a look at here in a second. But outside of that, most of the same features and options. 2 AC vents just below that. You can see then you do have all of your hard touch physical shortcut buttons for the system, including home, map, search, media, all the usual stuff, dedicated volume and tune knob, which I really do appreciate. Below that, you have the new touchscreen digital controls for the heated and ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel, and some of the other HVAC climate controls. This is actually found on the SEL trim and higher. It actually looks very premium, very similar to that of the new Refresh Sonata, and does retain some physical dials for the dual zone automatic climate control. Below that, you have your automatic vehicle hold, drive mode select. In this one, you have normal, sport, my drive, as well as snow mode. Four-wheel drive center differential lock, so that will send power 50-50 front and rear. Engine stop start off, hill descent control. Here's your parking cameras or 360 surround view camera system, which you can hold down that button to activate the remote smart park assist functionality. And there you can see the augmented reality display, which you can simply scroll around there and see the exterior of your vehicle in a little bit more detail, as well as your front, rear, and side parking sensors on and off button on the end there. 2 USB-C charging ports here in the front center console. Of course, you have a ton of USB-C charging throughout the entire interior. Here's your UVC sanitation compartment button, which will activate the sanitation up there in that small compartment, which we'll take a look at here in a second. You have one wireless charger here on the left side with your Hyundai digital keypad. The calligraphy will, of course, give you the dual wireless chargers. 2 large cup holders behind that. Then you have your bi-directional center console here with an integrated LED light. So this will open from the front as well as from the back, which is pretty darn cool. And you can remove that divider at the bottom to gain access to a deeper storage compartment. However, that is connected after that divider to the drawer out back in the second row, which we will take a look at here in a second. And then below the center console, of course, we have a 12-volt outlet with additional storage space for a larger bag or purse or anything like that. Now, coming up top, you do have the limited specific headliner. So this is kind of a heathered effect, as I like to call it. It is sort of a gray off beige, if you will. You do have LED vanity illumination, auto dimming interior rearview mirror with garage home link on the bottom. There's your BlueLink SOS overhead LED lighting that is in a touch type control. And then there is the controls or buttons for the front power sunroof, which I will open, as well as the rear power shade. So that's as far as the front sunroof will open. It is a little bit on the smaller side, not gonna lie, but does allow for additional ventilation inside the cabin, and of course, the extra sunlight here on a fairly chilly but nice sunny day. So always nice to see that. But that's a look at the front seat in a nutshell. Let's go ahead and take a quick look out back. So taking a look in the second row of the Santa Fe, the Limited will gain quite a few nice features over that of the XRT, for example. Starting out here on the door, all of the materials will follow through from the front with the chrome trim and some of these soft touch padded armrests. The Limited does have the manual side shades, which is good for those longer road trips or the kiddos out back so they don't get blinded by the sun or the additional heat. You also get 3-stage heated rear seats in the outboard bench position. So the 2 outboard bench seats will be heated and have that functionality. Cup holders, bottle storage, as well as your Bose premium audio system. Taking a look at the bench seat, like I mentioned, this is going to be the 7-passenger configuration, as standard captain chairs are not available on this Limited. You do have to go for a calligraphy if you like that. You have the release to gain easier access to the third row at the top as well as the bottom of the seats. They do slide and recline via the levers. Stepping inside, the step and height is going to be very, very easy given the ride height. And there's a quick look at the center dashboard. Out back, you will find USB-C charging on both of the front seats. Of course, you have that access to the center console like I mentioned, as well as the pull-out drawer at the bottom. Map nets, or pockets rather, on both of the front seats. Extra hooks, as well as your AC vents on the B-pillar right there. Overhead LED lighting and grab handles. And there's that nice large fixed pane sunroof that I mentioned that does have the power shade that is controlled at the front seat. So a very nice function, and immediately you can see you do have the center armrest with 2 cup holders and the 60/40 split folding seats for longer items such as this cargo privacy cover right there. So that's a look at the second row. A very good amount of overall room and a little bit bigger than that of the last generation Santa Fe depending on where the seat is set. Now taking a look at the third row very briefly, one of the aspects I like is that tilt and slide functionality is pretty much automated for you. Just simply push that button. And there's a look at the 50/50 folding third row seats, so just 2 passengers can sit in the back. Stepping inside, step and height is fairly easy, just a little bit tight depending on your overall body, but behind the second row seats in this more forward upright position, I have a decent amount of legroom, but the tight aspect is going to be the foot room beneath those seats. So overall, that's going to be the worst dimension in getting comfortable, but you do have more amenities in the Limited trim, including USB-C charge ports, AC vents, additional speakers for that Bose audio, and then all of those controls here on the right side or the passenger side for the fan speed AC, and there's your 115 volt, 150 watt wall outlet. Just like that of the XRT or higher. So not a terrible place to be in the third row of the Santa Fe. I would just say the footroom is going to be the biggest aspect or drawback as to why I wouldn't want to spend a ton of time back here. Now take a look at the cargo capacity behind the third and second rows. Of course, you do find the standard power liftgate. And behind the third row, it's going to be fairly tight, similar to that of the Palisade, where you don't have a ton of depth because the seat back simply comes up pretty close to where the hatch closes. But once you do fold down that third row seat, simply do that. It's kind of a one-touch fashion and it locks in place down there. You have a ton of cargo capacity. Now this is just a tad larger than that of the outgoing or last generation Santa Fe. So if you needed just a little bit more space, this will do that for you. And of course you do have that 60/40 bench design up there in case you need to fold just one side down or the other. You have a 12-volt outlet here on the left side. There's your subwoofer for the Bose audio. You have these nice seatbelt holder clips so you can simply tuck those seatbelts in when not in use, and it'll keep them from flapping around or kind of banging up the plastic trim here in the back. And then finally on the right side, like I mentioned, you do have the power release fold buttons to fold down those seats here from the cargo area, which is very nice. Beneath the floor, you'll find additional storage space, which you can put the cargo privacy cover down here as well to keep it out of the way and hidden. Roadside toolkit, jack, everything like that. And then you do have the temporary spare tire underneath the vehicle, which you can lower down. Now finishing up here on the passenger side front seat, of course, all the materials will follow through. You will find a power passenger seat, but no power lumbar, unfortunately. And there's a look at the dashboard with the dual glove boxes. Of course, this one is going to be the UVC sanitation compartment. Comes with a little attention warning sticker. And I don't really see any of the actual sensors in here, but of course that will sanitize your device. And then you do have the actual glove box with the LED illumination and a little bit of additional shelf space up top. So yeah, that's a look at the interior of the 2024 Santa Fe. Let's go ahead and pop the hood, see what powers this particular vehicle, and then go ahead and wrap up this video. So under the hood of every single gas Santa Fe for this next generation, you're gonna find the same 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder paired to an 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. Now this engine puts out 277 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, either the front wheels only or all 4 wheels if you do option all-wheel drive. Now, I do have a driving comparison video if you're curious about how the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder from the outgoing Santa Fe compares to this 2.5 liter turbo. So make sure you guys check that video out if you guys are curious, but overall has a substantial bump in standard output on the lower trims and still retains a decent fuel economy in the upper 20 mpg with all-wheel drive out on the interstate. So that's going to do it here for this quick walk-around tour of the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe in its limited trim level. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and or found something helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button below. It greatly helps out the channel, these videos. Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to check out some other 2024 Santa Fe content, including driving impressions, my walk-around tours on other trims, as well as that side-by-side trim comparison video, which I think is going to be extremely helpful. Now, as far as my quick thoughts on the limited in specific, while I think this is going to be my favorite trim level for the mid $40,000 price point, depending on how you spec it, it can creep into the upper $40,000 range, but it comes with most of the same features as the calligraphy, minus some trim and material differences, a handful of features, including the driver relaxation seat, which I think most people out there don't necessarily need that functionality or want to pay for it, and you still get a lot of the same, creature comforts, including the heated and ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel. You get the UVC sanitation compartment, the nicer ambient interior lighting, memory driver's seat, power passenger seat, and the list really goes on. So I think just for that reason alone, you're saving several thousands of dollars over the calligraphy, getting a lot of what the new next generation Santa Fe has to offer, and keeping the budget somewhat in check for the most part. So I'm curious about what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree with my overall opinion? And what trim level is your favorite if you're in the market for a mid-size 3-row SUV such as the Santa Fe? Let me know if you've seen one of these in person, what your overall thoughts on the styling are as well. Certainly some controversy due to the boxy nature and kind of bold styling, but I think it actually looks better in person than sometimes it comes across in photos and videos online. So highly encourage you to take a look in person if you haven't seen one. Take one for a test drive and let me know what you think. As always, I appreciate you guys supporting and watching these videos, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.